Now, back here in Israel, there is a potential intelligence scandal brewing right here over the sale of a cyber attack company called Paragon Solutions. It's being acquired by the U.S. private equity firm AE Industrial Partners for some $900 million. But the Defense Ministry has not approved this sale. The reason being fear of intelligence leaks and sensitive Israeli secrets being exposed. This company is backed by multiple high-level intelligence figures, including former commander of the 8200 Intelligence Unit, Ehud Schneerson, and former Prime Minister Ehud Barak. Well, to break it all down, we are joined now in studio by a former commander of the 8200 Intelligence Unit, Brigadier General in Reserves, Hanan Geffen. Thank you for being with us in the studio, because there is a lot at stake right now and a lot of confusion when it comes to this report. But this is not the first time that something like this has happened. There's more of a history when it comes to the sale of cyber software.
Yeah, it's about, I would say, between 15 to 20 years of very awkward history of policy that the Israeli Defense Ministry found itself handing out licenses to sell, I would say, cyber-intrusive programs. Just to make it, to understand that this equipment is now intruded willingly by service providers like, I would say, even Meta, that are updating the systems, and then by our consent, we agree that they will take the performance, to understand the performance of this equipment. But in the same way, mainly Israeli companies 15 or 20 years ago find ways to use, to enter these computers, to take out information for various purposes, commercial or intelligence, whatever, police. Now, there are three phases in these 15 years. The first phase is the phase that the Israeli Defense Ministry, for whatever reason, was very generous in handing out these licenses. Maybe they didn't understand the damage it might cause, until in the second phase, came out the cries, intruding journalists, accounts or phones, following journalists, following dissidents, following. So this was the civilian part of the problem, and at the same time it began the military one, which is more serious, more dangerous. And here was a clash with the American authorities.
How so?
And this is the bad one, because it was a clash that I described 3 years ago as one that is breaching the confidence or the good faith between the two intelligence communities. Now, what happened there is that Israeli companies were selling this equipment to whoever, actually to many customers over 100 countries. You might imagine that some of them ended in the hands of either crime organizations and others. The American authorities were aware of it, and I know that they have warned the Israeli companies, warned the Israeli Defense Ministry, and nothing was done. In the meantime, the American authorities, the American Ministry of Commerce and others, has craft, I would say, the regulations to differentiate between the goodwill entering this computer and the other that are intrusive for malfunctions.
And so what's really at risk of being leaked here? All of the different cyber techniques that Israel has even used during the course of this war?
This is the third part, and this is the most dangerous, because the Americans did not have, in the third phase, blacklisted several Israeli companies, but not because interfering with or the human rights and so on, but because they are disclosing compromising intelligence tools. And here, I would say the Israeli Defense Ministry was not heeding to the Israeli intelligence corps, and I know that the intelligence corps, my former unit, was very unhappy with the way these licenses were given. And only when the Americans threatened and told the Israelis, actually they called the Israeli responsible for these department in the Israeli Ministry of Defense, called them to the US. When they came back, I don't know what was there, but when they came back, they have left out of 100 countries that are, you may send out equipment, left only 30 or something. And for them also, the Israeli defense since then is very careful. Now, here we came to the Paragon system. The Israeli defense minister, I believe, will give the permission to Paragon company because Paragon, because it was led by the Ehud Schneerson, who, by the way, I was his commander at the time, and Ehud Barak, they acted from a commercial point of view very responsibly. They have the licenses, they were acting exactly according to the licenses, and they were acting with the American, mostly with the American companies. So I would say they are almost, I'm not sure if there are others, they're almost the only company that an American entity was ready to buy. I know that in the past, a company named NSO tried to be sold to L3, which is a very prominent American defense industry. And the American authorities prohibited this engagement. But right now, as it appears from the papers, the American agreed.
So we'll have to see exactly what does happen with the potential sale of this and the repercussions even for Israeli security, because there's a lot unfolding, it seems.
After saying that, the question of the compromising Israeli capabilities and Israeli intelligence equipment, it's staying in stake, and nobody is answering it, because I believe that this is, it was part of the hype of startup nation, selling equipment with hundreds of dollars, and it is very, very difficult to stop it right now, and it's still, I believe, causing damage, as you say, to the Israeli
to the security apparatus, it seems. A lot to unpack there, and we'll have to see exactly what does happen with the sale of this potential company. But Brigadier General in Reserves Hanan Geffen, thank you for giving us your insight into the developments right now.